Welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 17th of October for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through till Pisces. Now, as this week begins, we still have that Libra season. The Sun, Mercury and Venus all in the sign of Libra, but Venus is the ruler of Libra, so this gives it a particular resonance. Now by Saturday, the Sun and Venus come into an exact conjunction, but it's right at the end of their stay in the sign of Libra, because on Sunday they move into Scorpio. So I need to tell you about that for each of the 12 signs, but also the ruler traditionally of the sign of Scorpio is Mars, and the Sun's forging a really energized link to Mars this week, which is brilliant if we're wanting to have enthusiastic conversations. The problem is that Mars continues to be compromised by the swirling mist that is Neptune, and that's in the 12th solar house. So the potential for gossip or misunderstandings is still quite high, but if we can get our facts straight and we have a real sense of wanting to work in some kind of cooperative, collaborative, collegiate way, the Sun's conjunction with Venus by the end of the week can really, on the face of it, point towards improvements around relationship matters. It's just that in the very heart of this week, there is also a square between the Sun and Pluto. And this is much more complex. It's exact on Wednesday, but it is there, getting tighter to that exact point for most of this week. And of course, Pluto is very much the planet of power. So any relationship matter may require, if it has not been quite going as each party wants, an intense discussion. If it's possible to use the more diplomatic energies of Venus and the more detached vibe of Mercury, which does continue a very bubbly opposition to Jupiter, if we can continue to do that and rise above the need to be very forceful in our approach, which comes from Pluto, then solutions can be found. But if that's not possible, I think that the move of the Sun and Venus into Scorpio, along with Saturn going direct on Sunday, could signal a separation in a tie that isn't working, or it can see something settle down in a much deeper and more productive and positive and committed way. So it's a bit of a make or break week for relationships in general for many of us, but how this plays out for your particular zodiac sign is what I will explain. Now, if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast, year 2023 is racing up. If you want your personal forecast for that year, if you give me 3 pieces of personal data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your 2023 personal forecast, but the rest of this year free. Plus, in my special package, your roadmap, your character analysis, which can help to guide your moves for the rest of your life. This will give you invaluable information to help you to understand some of life's repeating patterns for you, but also where you can seize opportunities. Please see the link below for more information. If you're new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. If you decide to do so, please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you're an ongoing viewer, thank you so much for your continuing views. So Cancer, your week commencing the 17th of October forecast sees a big emphasis on security, family, emotional issues. And in terms of your actual home, the snugger and more comfortable you can make it if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, or the more pleasing you can make it or light or connect to your outdoor space if you're in the south. That's really emphasised by the Sun's ongoing connection to Venus, which reaches a high point on Saturday. But this week could also trigger some very important conversations, particularly with Pluto squaring up to the Sun and Venus at the heart of the week. Maybe if a delicate family or emotional matter is discussed, this can be an opportunity to clear the air. But very often when Pluto is in the mix, in a testing angle like a square, it can create the potential for some power plays, to be honest. And although Venus can create an illusion that the way a proposal or the way something is being discussed is delicate and gentle, underneath that there may be a burning desire for one person in the equation to get what they want. The key for you on this particular influence is that with Mars in your sector of deep psychology, forging a positive link with the Sun and Venus, if you can share some things that you feel will actually be very authentic, and you're not trying to necessarily score a point, you're just being completely genuine, then that energy can be very good to ventilate some old tender matters in a constructive way. It's just that with Neptune still in that right angle with Mars, there can be some amplification on some of those emotional past issues still this week. But if you are looking around at any kind of property matter with Mercury opposite Jupiter, and obviously in the face of the changes that have been going on in the property market all over the world in recent years, on the face of it, that aspect could give you a sort of hope that something can be sorted out in a way that's positive. For example, if you're thinking of working from home, Mercury opposite Jupiter is a very good aspect to have. But if you're wanting to make sure that you're not overpaying in rent or mortgage for a property, this particular aspect is saying don't get so caught up in the upside of what a particular residency can hold for you that you end up going beyond what comfortably feels right for you financially. Now, by Sunday, terrific for you, the Sun and Venus moves into your 5th house, which is more outgoing, more flirty, more charismatic, and it could have some real implications for your love life over the next few weeks. Technically, Venus is not at its best in Scorpio, but for you it works well. This can see you show your affection. Also, Saturn goes direct in the part of your horoscope to do with longer term finance, but it is still in that grinding attritional right angle to Uranus. So I think for you, it's about staying utterly realistic, not being too idealistic when it comes to your deep connections, your devotions, or your financial investments. Being very practical is important for us all at the present time. So essentially, the first part of this week asks you to really create a physical environment or spend time in the actual environment in a way which is pleasing to your senses. But as the week draws to a close, there is the potential for a much more playful and outgoing phase of the year to kick in.